Well, we have the risk of some severe weather in the northern plains over the next few days, and also some activity picking up in the tropical Atlantic. So the Atlantic has been pretty quiet lately, but we are watching a disturbance now. It doesn't look like much, and it isn't much yet, but 50% odds from the National Hurricane Center of becoming a tropical system here within the next several days. And the path looks to bring it somewhere close to the U.S., so we're going to be watching very carefully to see how intense this system gets or not. This is the probability of a tropical depression. So high odds off the coast, but European models wind gust swath over the next 7 to 10 days does bring this system close to the mid-Atlantic and some parts of the southeast. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this system. Very warm waters that we've been talking about all season in the Atlantic and the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. Meanwhile, in the plains, we've got a slight risk of severe weather today into tonight. These storms are mostly going to develop late tonight. Large hail and a wind threat primarily, maybe 2-inch diameter hail and some strong wind gusts here with those storms initially. And then tomorrow, similar scenario shaping up, but this time more over Iowa into western Illinois, Tuesday into Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, we'll be watching generally the same vicinity for the potential for more strong storms. Wednesday into eastern South Dakota, northwest Iowa, and southwestern Minnesota. All three slight risks, so not particularly intense, but the plains has been kind of quiet lately too, so activity picking up there as well. We're going to have bouts of shear, but the type of shear and setup here that none of these are really big tornado days, but more of these high wind gust threats, these mesoscale convective systems that produce bow echoes, a large hail, and then those wind gusts primarily. This is the significant tornado parameter from one particular model. Not very impressive. So any one of these storms can produce tornadoes. We call them gustnadoes that can spin up on the leading edge of some wind, but we're going to be in the more of the medium range of shear and medium range of energy level. That puts us in that bow echo or derecho kind of area. So that's what we're looking at more so than the more intense storms, supercells or tornadic outbreaks. We're watching this upper level wave. It's just a little mass of clouds moving across Idaho. This is the next upper level disturbance riding in this westerly flow that will help to touch off some thunderstorms overnight tonight as that low level jet, which isn't particularly impressive, but it's enough to produce clusters of storms that could produce those winds, and then the leftovers will move across Minnesota and Iowa into the early morning hours Tuesday, and then things should quiet down during the day. Tuesday it's going to be steamy, but more storms will develop potentially in some of those same areas late Tuesday into Tuesday night. And again, we're watching for the potential for a bow echo scenario here moving across Iowa into northern Missouri and Illinois with some of those high wind gusts. And then Wednesday, similar setup scenario, but this time a little bit further to the northwest. This is Wednesday evening. Could see a line of some strong storms develop into Minnesota, eastern South Dakota, and Iowa. Again, that's the area that we're going to be watching for another potential wind threat. But this is the NAM model's wind gusts, and you can see the swaths from South Dakota into Iowa tonight mostly, into early morning Tuesday. And then as we head into Tuesday night and Wednesday, that threat primarily eastern South Dakota into western Minnesota with this particular model. Models are kind of differing on where these storms develop and the timing and intensity of them, but there are going to be clusters of storms on and off in the plains over the next few days.